This video is dedicated to Tokyo Channel, who left a nice comment about how I might have been wrong about something. It is not dedicated to a certain Reddit user who had the same observation, but just didn't internet as good. So what's the deal? Well, it seems I may have misheard our boy Edgar in the last video.
We were at miniature golf practice.
In editing, I must have gone over this scene 15 to 20 times, and I heard major golf practice every time. Now, upon receiving the aforementioned notices, I went back with some headphones and I gotta admit, he may have said miniature golf practice. And if so, then I say to our boy Edgar, enunciate! Okay, so does miniature golf practice make this scene any better? No. Does Bayside have a miniature golf team? Can you letter in mini golf? Now, if not, did the Clegg cousins follow our boy Edgar to a putt hut so as to roll him? How far did the nerds have to shuffle to showcase Valley's prank to Zach and the boys? Was there no one along the way to free the nerds from the toilet paper, like a manager at the putt hut? Is this prolonged talk about nerds and mini golf just a ploy to show off more of that Avril Lavigne video I loved so much back in the day? There are no answers. It's a cheap joke that falls apart the more you think of it, which makes one wonder, why not use a different, better joke? Now, the point of this video isn't to revisit every muffled line that led to a wayward observation. This video has better things to do! Let's talk about Beau Revere.
Hey, I love Beau Revere, he's my favorite!
Beau Revere is actually Scott Gale. You remember him, he wrote the show's theme song the day his wife left him. The song featured in the Zach tapes is called Don't Leave With Your Love, and the episode gives us only 2 moments where we can hear parts of the song clearly.
Where are you going? Where have you been? You don't have to tell me you've been out.
Zach, I love you. But it's you, the Z-Man.
These instances still don't really capture the essence of the song. Allow me to play the intro, and you decide if Don't Leave With Your Love really could have earned the 8th spot on this Billboard list from December of 1989. There is no way a song with that in it passes Pump Up the Jam. Now, full versions of the song can be found online, but you should really only seek it out if you want a mid-tier 80s song with a riff that sounds like a watered-down version of She Drives Me Crazy by the Fine Young Cannibals.
Hey, I love Beau Revere, he's my favorite!
Yeah, you can do better. Right? Awkward transition. I mentioned back in Pinned to the Mat that Gino DeMauro was about 16 or 17 when he played Nedick. Let's quickly peruse the appropriateness of other student guest star ages. Our boy Edgar is played by William Joseph Barker, who was around 15 years old. Mark Clayman was, I can't find his age anywhere. What about C.W. Hemingway? No? Well, this segment was pointless. I guess we can at least talk about C.W. Hemingway's acting career. We can't even do that? What are we even doing here? So let's talk about something that there is content for, and that's Slater. It's no mystery that AC gives off macho vibes and a no homo attitude that could land him in this Lonely Island music video. He also exhibits an attraction to Zach, which could also land him in that same Lonely Island video.
Creatine shakes marry a man.
We'll have to see if this continues in the next season. And speaking of the next season, remember back when we discussed how Peter Engel prostrated himself in Brandon Tartikoff's office and demanded more episodes to make a 20-episode season? Well, if you're counting with me, this past 9th grade year season only had 16 episodes. The other 4 episodes Peter Engel ordered were produced, but they didn't air with the other 9th grade episodes. Instead, 2 of these 9th grade episodes, being The Babysitters and Close Encounters of the Nerd Kind, aired in the next season, which doesn't come across as too odd, being only a year off, 9th grade to 10th grade. But the other 2 episodes, being Slater's Friend and Screech's Birthday, aired in the senior year. it's gonna look strange. The final thing we'll cover in this video comes by way of an admission. I forgot to include some musings in past videos. So, to make amends, and to make sure I'm addressing everything I wanted before moving to the next season, here they are. In King of the Hill, you'll recall that Zach does his level best to get detention from Mrs. Simpson, but only succeeds when he inadvertently knocks his Shakespeare text off his desk. But hadn't Screech done far worse in The Substitute? Did Mrs. Simpson feel that Lisa's unscripted swordplay was enough punishment for Screech's boisterous indiscretion? Was Mrs. Simpson just biased against Zach?
I don't like that boy.
Did it have to do with the writers being consistently inconsistent in this show? Now go back with me to Save That Tiger. If you'll recall, Dan Clegg was impersonating Screech as the mascot in the cheerleading finals. To get back at him, Zach and Slater pour ants in the costume, and Dan goes nuts, securing the trophy for Bayside. But check this out. As Valley performs, the floor by the boys is nice and clean, which is still the case as Bayside preps to cheer. It's during this prep that Zach pours a ton of ants in Dan's tiger pants. As Dan scratches and dances, look at the floor now. The floor was clean just 2 seconds ago. What happened? Did Mark Paul actually pour out that jar instead of, acting like it? Did the ants fall out of the bottom of the costume? Well, then why is Dan going crazy? Is he secretly helping Bayside win because he wants a kiss from Lisa? Why is Slater just standing in the ants? Was the jar emptied by mistake while the cameras were rolling? I don't get it. I really don't get it. But, hey, that's it. I'll see you in the next season of The Deep Dive.